When version 4.6 went live, most pilots laughed. They thought it was just another patch. Some balance changes. Some small fixes. Nothing important. Across the Hyperion sector, fleets stayed calm. Trade ships moved. Mercenaries hunted small targets. Everything looked normal. But deep inside the system logs, something was different. Jump speeds were slightly faster. Energy transfer felt smoother. Shield recharge timing had changed by just a fraction. Small changes. Too small for most people to notice. But Vaughn noticed. He was sitting alone inside his cockpit, staring at the updated flight data. He did not smile. He did not celebrate. He studied. His eyes moved from one number to another. Then he saw it. A delay in enemy lock-on time. Only 0.4 seconds. For most pilots, that meant nothing. For Vaughn, it meant survival. Outside the safe zone, an enemy patrol fleet guarded the Hyperion gate. They believed they controlled the sector. They believed no one would challenge them on update day. Then Vaughn powered up his ship. Engines hummed softly. Weapon systems warmed. The live mission feed started broadcasting. Viewers expected chaos. Maybe failure. Instead, they saw something strange. Vaughn did not rush. He moved slowly, carefully. As he approached the gate, enemy sensors pinged him. They locked on, but 0.4 seconds too late. And in that tiny moment, something changed. The first enemy ship exploded before anyone understood what happened. Command chat went silent, because version 4.6 was not just an update. In the hands of one human pilot, it was a weapon. Rocket the explosion was not supposed to happen. The patrol fleet had numbers. They had position. They had control of the Hyperion gate. One small strike ship should not break their formation. But the first ship was gone, destroyed before its captain could even speak. Inside the command carrier, warning lights flashed red. Recalculate lock speed. Adjust formation. Close distance. They believed it was luck. They were wrong. Vaughn did not chase the explosion. He did not celebrate. He drifted sideways through the debris, using broken metal as cover. His ship moved with calm precision. Every turn was smooth. Every boost was measured. Version 4.6 had changed thruster response. Most pilots were still adjusting. Vaughn had already mastered it. Two enemy fighters rushed him from the left. They fired early, trying to trap him between crossfire beams. Vaughn cut power. For half a second, his ship looked dead in space. The fighters overshot. Then his engines roared back to life. He rolled under their firing line and locked missiles before their systems refreshed. Two more explosions. The live feed numbers began to rise. More viewers joined. Chat messages filled the screen. How is he doing that? Did 4.6 buff human ships? That movement is insane. But this was not about buffs. It was about timing. The patrol fleet commander finally understood. Spread out. Do not group. Too late, because version 4.6 had changed targeting priority inside cluster formations, and Vaughn was guiding them exactly where he wanted. The Hyperion gate no longer looked safe. It looked exposed. And for the first time, the sector commanders felt something new. Fear. The patrol fleet stopped chasing. That was the first smart move they made. Instead of rushing, they pulled back and formed a wide circle around the Hyperion gate. Heavy ships moved to the center. Interceptors spread out like a net. They wanted Vaughn trapped inside the sector. No escape routes. No safe angles. No mistakes allowed. From the outside, it looked perfect. From inside his cockpit, Vaughn saw weakness. Version 4.6 had adjusted radar sharing between fleet members. The update reduced signal clarity when ships were too far apart. The enemy did not know that yet. They were following old tactics. Vaughn increased altitude and climbed above the main battlefield. He did not attack. He let them think he was confused. The fleet tightened the circle. Exactly what he wanted, because when they moved closer, their radar signals overlapped. Small interference waves appeared. Tiny blind spots. Invisible to them. Clear to him. Vaughn cut across the top of the formation, fast but silent. He targeted a support frigate in the center. It powered the shield network for 3 nearby ships. He fired once. Precision shot. The support ship cracked open. Suddenly, the circle broke. Shields flickered. Signals dropped. Formation collapsed. Panic spread across command channels. Who gave that firing angle? How did he bypass the screen? Lock him now. But every time they locked him, he shifted direction before full confirmation. For point 6 had improved microthruster balance. Small movements now mattered. Vaughn was not fighting the fleet. He was fighting their reaction time. Another cruiser lost shields. Another fighter drifted powerless. The live feed exploded with messages. He's dismantling them. This isn't random. He's using the patch. And deep inside the Hyperion sector, the fleet commander finally understood something dangerous. By now, the entire sector was watching. What started as a small live mission had turned into a system-wide event. Traders stopped moving cargo. Mercenaries paused contracts. Even rival clans tuned in. The Hyperion feed was everywhere, and Vaughn knew it. He could feel the pressure. Every move was being recorded. Every mistake would be replayed. But he did not rush. The enemy fleet regrouped near an asteroid belt just beyond the gate. Large rocks floated like silent mountains. It was a perfect place for an ambush. They wanted him to follow. Vaughn did. Slowly. The moment he entered the belt, long-range cannons fired from behind the asteroids. Beams cut across space, forcing a dive. To viewers, it looked dangerous. To Vaughn, it looked planned. Version 4.6 had quietly updated collision physics. Asteroids now had stronger gravitational pull when ships boosted near them. Most pilots complained about it. Vaughn used it. He angled his ship toward a spinning rock and boosted at the last second. The gravity curve bent his flight path sharply around the asteroid. Enemy gunners miscalculated. Their beams hit their own cover. Explosions lit the belt. Vaughn slipped through the chaos like a shadow. He targeted their command destroyer. One burst to the engines, another to the shield core. The destroyer drifted helplessly. Silence filled the enemy channel. Across the live broadcast, the message was clear. This was not luck. This was not speed. This was understanding. Version 4.6 had changed the rules, and Vaughn was the only one truly playing by them. For the first time, the Hyperion sector no longer belonged to the fleet. It belonged to the pilot who understood the update. Rocket. The enemy commanders made one final decision. If skill could not stop Vaughn, numbers would. A distress signal spread across nearby systems. Reinforcements jumped in from 3 directions. Heavy cruisers, assault wings, missile carriers. Space around Hyperion began to fill with metal and fire. Viewers watching the live feed thought it was over. No one survives that. He pushed too far. It's done. Vaughn saw the jump signatures appear on his radar. He did not retreat. He lowered power output instead. His ship became quiet. Cold. Version 4.6 had adjusted heat tracking and missile guidance. Ships running at high energy were easier to lock. Ships running cool were harder to predict. Most pilots used full power during panic. Vaughn used control. Missile waves launched toward him like a storm. He drifted between asteroid shadows, cutting engines at perfect moments. Several missiles lost target and collided with rocks. Others exploded too early. Enemy fleets closed distance. They tried to surround him again. But this time, Vaughn did something unexpected. He flew directly toward the largest cruiser, straight into danger. Commanders believed he was desperate. He wasn't. For point 6 had increased shield overload damage when multiple ships fired at one close target. Vaughn positioned himself near the cruiser's hull. Enemy ships fired. Their beams struck him, but also struck their own flagship. Shield energy stacked. The cruiser's core destabilized. A bright flash tore across space. The largest ship in the fleet exploded. Silence spread across every channel. Thousands had jumped in, but one pilot had just erased their strongest weapon. And in that moment, the galaxy understood something terrifying. Numbers did not matter anymore. Only mastery did. Rocket, the explosion of the flagship, changed everything. Debris drifted through space like broken stars. Smaller ships scattered in confusion. Command channels filled with noise, then slowly went quiet. No one gave orders. No one moved. They were waiting for Vaughn to make his next move. Inside his cockpit, warning lights blinked softly. His hull was damaged. Shields were low. Energy reserves were not full. He was not invincible, but he was calm. Version 4.6 had done more than adjust weapons and flight control. It had improved tactical scanning during low-energy states. When most ships ran hot, their sensors became less accurate. Vaughn powered down again. His ship drifted through debris, almost invisible. Enemy fleets tried to regroup at long range. They feared getting close. They feared firing too soon. For the first time, the hunters were hesitating. Vaughn activated long-range scan. He saw what they did not. Their fleet lines were uneven. Reinforcements had arrived without coordination. Gaps existed between units. Old strategies depended on strong central command, but their command ship was gone. Vaughn accelerated toward one of the gaps. Fast, precise. He struck a missile carrier and disabled it before escorts could react. Then he vanished behind wreckage again. He did not destroy everything. He broke confidence. One by one, enemy ships began jumping out of the sector. Retreat. The Hyperion gate stood open. No fleet guarding it. No blockade. Across the live broadcast, viewers watched the empty space